Deal. Yeah, notification gain. So see, that's nice. That's nice. I think I don't really know what I'm going to do in today's stream, but I felt like streaming for a little bit anyhow. So like at 11:30, I gotta leave to go pick up my sister from work, um, and I also need to vacuum, but I don't want to wake my roommate up, so I wanted to give my roommate like as much time as possible to sleep because she got off work last night at like 12. So I wasn't gonna start vacuuming this early in the morning because I know most people don't get up this early in the morning. Yeah, I remember you, Aiden. Ages ago, my man. First thing first though, Richmond, Virginia live update. I would really like to see what's going on. Because this has already been 9:41 was the last update. Okay, so this one's new. Okay. So the last update that I got is that there will be a whole bunch of conservative politicians and pundits that are talking. So that's pretty. We'll see how that goes. I don't know what I'm going to build today. I don't have a lot of time to build something, so if we build something, we got to build something small. Which that doesn't leave us with a lot of options for what to build. Why do I always do this? I have the Discord app literally right down here, and I still open it over here. What is this? Oh. Oh. Jeez. Should have known that most of the stuff here wasn't going to be helpful because I've tried to check before and most of it's not helpful. See, this is the hard part. Sometimes you just start a stream and you just have no idea what exactly you're going to build. You're just kind of here, hoping for the best. Are you talking about BMW MKZ? I guess it's the Lincoln MKZ. I don't know why I said BMW. Why would it? I'm not gonna build a car. Yeah. What's going on in Hopman's Discord? Because I really only use, oh gosh, yawns. I really only use my different usernames Discord. I really don't use a whole bunch of other ones. I got like private chats and stuff, but that's, you know, not the same. You could color code files in Google Drive ever since I've started using it, so 2015, because that's where I started color coding them. Yeah. I can't find what you're talking about. Are you talking about the MP5? The Zenith makes? Because this is what pops up when I type that in. I had, you could always do this, but damn, I've let like some things go without being color coded for a while now. But you can tell, like which ones I cared about because they all got color coded, and then some didn't for some of the newer stuff. Hellcat is from Springfield Armory. Damn, that thing is really small. So it's 4 inches high, 6 inches long, and 1 inch wide, which puts it at 3 studs wide, I think, is 1 inch. Yeah, 3 studs wide. Oh, I don't feel like doing that. 3 stud wide handguns, not exactly fun. VSS. Isn't it the Venturas? Yeah. I've got 2 different versions of the VSS. So I've got, because I use my different usernames base. So I took and I upgraded it to the normal VSS and then the modern VSS that came after that. Hi, Potato. Yeah, probably not, Kathy. Yeah, and the problem is I've made most of the Russian stuff. I was just particularly looking for like something that we could easily modify. Ooh, I have a good one today. I have one that we can do right now. Because I made it specifically for what we're about to do today, and just then never went back and finished it. So we can do that now and be fine. So we're going to. I've made plenty of Barrett 50 cals. You should actually see one scrolling. Well, we can just show it. Well, I can't show it here because that's a thing. So let's go ahead and close out of that because we shouldn't need it. Let's go to Finder and desktop. Desktop. 2020 slideshow. There it is. I've made plenty of Barrett 50 cals. This is the most recent one. This was my different usernames, Barrett M107, that I upgraded into the newer package. And then later on I went back through and I added the suppressor. So trust me, I've made plenty. Go to, I think I already made a video for it, but I'm not entirely sure. You might notice that I don't keep files on my desktop anymore. It's because the other day, my cloud told me that my files were full. So I turned that feature off on my laptop, and everything on my desktop disappeared. And I got really upset for obvious reasons because I had 30 models on the desktop that all disappeared and I could not find any of them. So I got really upset. So I've now resorted to holding everything onto my jump drive. What's it called? My USB. Because I do not want that to happen again. Because it really upset me a lot that I lost a whole bunch of stuff. So this is going to be the H&K MG-36 Mark.II, work in progress version 1. I've made the XM8, I've made the MG-36, but I've never made one using my new base for my G36. So, oh, you're talking to Openness. That my bad. My bad. Yeah, Openness did. He made a really good XM8 too. And it was the CQB version, which I personally like a lot more than the other versions. It just looks really nice. I have a Galil. The Galil that I have is Jim's Lego Guns Galil, so I would use that thing in a heartbeat. I just need to get around to quote-unquote upgrading it. I don't know the MG-36 was in Battlefield 3. I feel you open this, but it paid out in spades. So this is interesting because it seems like every drum magazine for the MG-36 is a double drum. But then if you look at the MG-36 from Modern Warfare 3, it's got the single drum in it. So now then the choice is, do I make a double drum for a more appropriate look, or do I go for the Modern Warfare 3 route? Or we can go with the double drum first and then make a single drum later. So that seems like a good idea, because the normal MG-36 is just the double drum, which is no big deal. Because we should be able to make it. I kind of need like a side image. Like here is fine. No, that's. Yeah, we're gonna do the double, because we can always go back through and make a single, and make the Call of Duty version. Okay, so it's literally just flat on bottom. So now we just got to make a circular pattern that is big enough for this. So, oh, and then we need to add a bipod. But for now, I think what we'll basically be doing is making the drum. So we just got to make it small enough. Oh, I was going to check the angle, because what I'm thinking is we delete this piece out right here, and then the rest of the magazine should get deleted out. Of course, it's going to be a pain. And then we build the drum up from this. I love the helical mags so much. I don't know what it is about them. They just look so cool. All right, so now we actually got to like figure out how we're going to do the drum portion, and I kind of have an idea in my head, but we have to set up a perfect circle to accomplish my idea. So we kind of need, it's not big enough. It is a shame that they're so unreliable, because it would be probably the best thing for militaries to kind of adopt. High capacity with a relatively small footprint. So like you can go prone really, really low to the ground and not have to worry about a magazine sticking out in your way. So I'm just trying to size a circle appropriately. I think something like that will be fine. So now I got to figure out which rim fits in this. Well, that was easy. Okay. So now the plan is to change color that we're working in because I think there is some red details on this gun. And then we'll get a piece of this out. Set that over there. Get a thing like this out that will click here. Grab one of these and place it somewhere in the middle, like right about there. Seems fine. So this is a huge trick that makes illegal building possible. If you're ever kind of needing to know how to place things in very interesting spots, this is how it's done. So this is going to come up to like here. Well, if you didn't use any illegal techniques, you could build it in LED and then have it forever. So we'll just go up just a little bit more. Yeah, because we could always come down. So now I'll take and turn this way, put that down there, click there, click here, move this down this way. So right about there. And then now I think we just need to come maybe a little bit further over. But we could, yeah, let's come over first. So it's directly in the middle, or at least as close to directly in the middle as we can get. So I'm going to try to line that little bar up down there with that Technic axle. I think that's about as close as we'll get. So now we'll take and we'll bring this into a vertical. Excuse me, I'm so sorry, guys. And then we will drop it down as far as we can without being too illegal, because clearly you just watch that phase through that tire, so we don't want that to happen. Oh goodness, sorry again. So the whole point in us doing this is we can take and put, as far as I remember anyhow, these right there. And we can wrap this around the tire. The tire is going to form the perfect circle. And then we can have, so the tire is kind of like this inner part here, in this part, kind of. And then we could have all of these dimensional changes for the rest of it as we go. That is the goal. The problem is going to be accomplishing said goal. We also need to mark which one's the middle because I'm going to forget and we don't want to forget. So let's do that. Okay, so now let's move this away from the gun further so that anything bad happens. I technically would need to figure out how many pieces of these tire treads are going to fit in the circle. and then divide 360 by that many pieces, and that will tell me how many degrees each and every single one of these needs to be to form a perfect circle. But I think what we'll end up doing is just going for it, probably. So if we do 12, maybe? So that was 14. I think we'll do 14 and see where that gets us. Guipard PDW? I don't know what you're particularly talking about. Who makes it? Or at least what country makes it? Ooh, wrong one. Hate when that happens. Why are you doing this again? No, not there. I need you to rotate up there. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, it's getting a little close. It's a Russian PDW. The hell is this? What the hell? What movie was this in? If it's on IMFDB, then it was in a movie. It's definitely interesting. Oh, it appears in hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. It's the only thing that it's in. And it says up here that the most interesting feature is that the Guillaport can shoot no less than 5 different calibers without any swapping. 380, 9 by 18, 9 by 19, 9 by 19 armor piercing, 9 by 21, and 9 by 30. I don't have a real 1911, but I have a couple airsoft versions. So my first airsoft pistol that was gas blowback, like my main 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So my main secondary that I carried when I still played airsoft was a gas blowback 1911. Oh, Lego version. Yeah, I got multiple different versions. There should be a scrolling image down here off to the side of the stream. It should pop up there every once in a while. There should be a couple different versions of it that pop up there. So the problem is that now 14 is not the proper one, because now we're cutting into the actual tire itself. So we'd have to kind of go through and change the angle every once in a while to be, I guess, proper, if you want to call it that. But It's not really proper. It's cutting into the tire, and the tire is supposed to set our angle, so I don't want it to cut into the tire. I just need it to wrap around the tire. Oh, great. Hey Delta, we're building the MG-36 drum mag. Open this. It's easier in LDD, man, because like I always think about my alternative, because you have to remember that I didn't always build inside of LDD. I did at one point in time build with real life pieces, and it's so much easier at LDD to memorize where everything is actually at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I think we might be back on track. Because with everything memorized where everything is at, it's way faster to build. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Whereas if you were trying to do something like in real life, building in real life, we're going to do this one as a 15. You have to start digging through your Lego bin, trying to find the pieces and whatnot, which is, you know, it's probably not the biggest of deals for some people, but it does slow down the building process quite a bit. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So to me, part of the motivation for finishing a build inside of LDD is that I can actually finish it. I don't really find memorization of parts in LDD to be an issue either, because I've been using it for so long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I just don't like Studio as much as I like LDD. I've just been using LDD for a lot longer. I wanted, if Studio would just sit down and copy pretty much everything that LDD does and then add to it, I would go over there in a heartbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I don't particularly know which website you're talking about because my website has always worked. Working just fine. I definitely like the idea to be able to have more parts and more colors. That's a huge benefit. The problem is it's just kind of a pain. um, it just, I find LDD, even with like its limited tool set, to be way easier to use for what I'm particularly doing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we cut into that pretty heavily at that point. So if we, oh gosh. One, 2, 3. This one's at 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and that'll be okay. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't work in Russia. It seems like the type of thing that would not work. Why? Why is it so difficult for this to understand where I want to move? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's fine. I'm sure there's some internet laws over there that are in effect. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And we might change this to a 15, just to try to hug that turn a little bit more. We will see as it goes. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So let's do one more right here. 15. That piece right here is the antithesis for this blue piece up here. So this one is going to be a connection point, because if we look at the magazine here, you can see that it goes straight, it's flat on bottom into the magazine. So that right there would be where we kind of, if we have to kind of come over somewhere, that would be where we do it. Okay, so now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We are making the drum magazine for an MG-36 right now. Let's take this out by one more. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So these next couple ones, we might just have to take to like 13. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, because it's getting pretty close to the tire itself. So this one's probably going to have to be like a 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so that's fine. We're also going to delete everything up here, because we're going to wrap around to the top. Again, Nah. It's not gold, I promise. It's like a pastel yellow. Oh crap, that was the proper one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so we're coming back away from the tire, and I'm okay with that. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And we'll take this one to like 15. And take this one more as well, just to kind of get closer to the tire. Kind of like that. Hey, Ryoshi. Is that because of how heavy it was, or just because of how long it was? Because you could always shorten it. Shortening it is not a bad idea. Okay, so this is the bad part, because I know for a fact that these are not going to line up perfectly to one another, because they never do. So there's going to be like this gigantic gap between these. So there'll be a gap that big. So what we're going to do is actually hide that gap on bottom. Yeah, so that'll be perfectly fine. So now we can actually, oops, I keep forgetting it's not over there. Now we can actually set up everything else that we need to set up for. So first things first, we're going to hide that and hide that. We're going to copy this and push it off to the side. And see. And the magazine itself is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 studs long. So these, I want to say, are 4 long. Control V. Place this. Is that an 8 that I just put down? It is. Okay, so that right there is going to be 10 long. But I'd be okay with that. Hey, Dylan. Right now we're working on the MG-36 drum magazine. I would be okay with having this as 10 studs long because we can split the difference as we go. So that's no big deal. So now what we're going to do is take, gosh, I keep forgetting that. We're going to design the kind of raised portions of this. So this first portion here is going to be flat, which I believe 3 studs is good for that. We're also going to switch the color to spring green because that'll help. And then it's going to bump up. So we could do a cheese slope, or we could do one of those. I think that would be the better of the two. And then after that, it's just kind of straight back. So we would do something like this. And then follow it up with something like this. And that would be all of that. So now it's a matter of setting it all up. So this is what I was particularly interested in trying to problem solve to figure out. I mean, you don't have to do the drum. You could do, don't they have the 30 round magazines for the normal G36? We're gonna copy this just to make it easier. Crap, missed a piece. Yeah, I think they have in the gunsmith, I think there's a way for you to do just the 30 round magazine. Because I think they have it in the game that you can convert it to just normal G36 C, I think. I think there's a shorter barrel and handguard that you can put on it. The 30 round magazine and all that wonderful stuff. I don't know. I don't even have that gun unlocked in the game. I haven't played in forever. I really like the game. Don't get me wrong. But then it just kind of like, it got boring. It became the same thing over and over again. And I don't want the same thing over and over again. So now then the question is, with this already looks relatively good. I'm actually incredibly happy with how this looks. We're going to definitely save this because we haven't saved, and that would be an absolute fucking atrocity to lose all of this progress because this was a lot. The hard part is now, yeah, then you can get a short barrel for it. That's what I thought. I just couldn't particularly remember. The hard part is now, do I try to close the gaps between these, or do I leave the gaps open? And to close the gaps, I think, let's just try this first to see. Yeah, I figured that would be too big, but I have this part. And because this particular portion is 6 studs long, it will fit perfectly in there. So now what we'll do is take and so the easiest way to do this is to take and color all the different pieces that we're deleting. These two colors go really well together. Kind of like this color combination. I might have to use it on a future gun. Now that they're all that color, we can select it and delete it. SIG is better than Glock. I don't carry a SIG, so Glock is better. Good try though. We could always replace with 1x6 tiles instead of using the 4 and the 2, but I am lazy. So I'm probably just going to leave it the way it is for wrap. We'll hit this button instead. I don't. And I think one of the reasons I don't carry a SIG is because I could actually afford the Glock. Like, I couldn't afford the SIG. Oh man, I've held the SIG Pt.1 though, a full-sized version. That thing is huge. I did not realize that full-size handguns were legitimately like gigantic things until I held that. Because the only other handguns that I've really held up to that point were all kind of smaller subcompact handguns and whatnot. So that right there was like a wake-up call of how gigantic these things like really are, to be completely honest. I don't think it's a bad thing though. I just don't think it's something that I could conceal carry. And as far as I know, Florida doesn't have open carry. Though I should probably look that up. Speaking of which, it's been about an hour, I think, so we could probably go look up to see if there's any more news about Richmond. That green, like so. And then boom, that right there, I really like. Yeah, it's really not. Which makes perfect sense. It's because there's other SIG offerings that are meant to be concealed. Let's live update for Richmond, Virginia. See if they've got anything else. Wow, no way. Inside the pen, some activists wondered whether the main event was really outside the fenced-in area they'd waited so long to enter. The much thicker crowd on the streets below had the look of Times Square on New Year's Eve, with people shoulder to shoulder. While there was some early morning chanting on the square, the crowd seemed to mellow by late morning as sounds from the more, I don't know that word, street gathered floated up. Wild applause, whistling, and a malicious fife and drum corps on the streets mixed with the sounds of multiple police helicopters whirring overhead. On the streets, people were free to carry guns, and they had access to rows and rows of portable toilets provided courtesy of VCDL. Those inside the pen had to give up their guns. Gone, too, was any chance for a bathroom break. On the upside, there was plenty of room to mill around on the grass square, even with the hundreds inside. Mordana Smith and her father made their way through the throngs and into the square, only to discover another advantage to being outside the gates. In the thick of the crowd, she said, "It's a lot warmer." That said, Smith, the 25-year-old computer programmer from Chesapeake, had no regrets. She had room on the bright and breezy hillside to show off the sign she carried, one she hoped would show that gun rights advocates are not a one-dimensional crowd. Damn, I want gay married couples to be able to protect their marijuana plants with guns, it read. Oof. Bro, he's got an M82 out. Oh my goodness. Wow. He legit has his M82. That right there is awesome. Yeah, I think the worst part about reading about from the Washington Post is that the more ammo clips. God, would it be so difficult to call the magazines? Ah, why? Oh, Jesus. Alex Jones is here. Alex Jones is in Richmond. Oh, man. Oh, goodness. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Alleged disarming of residents of Nazi Germany? That's not alleged. What? It's not alleged. This happened. Why are you saying alleged? What? That's literally what they did. I don't understand how the Washington Post can say this was alleged. That's literally what they happened. What? And then we get back to where we started stream about the conservative politicians and pundits. I literally don't know why they're saying that Nazi Germany allegedly disarmed the populace. They literally did that. We had to literally make guns to drop into Nazi occupied areas for people to fight back in the resistance. It was literally called the FE-45 Liberator. We'll just do that. We literally dropped these out of airplanes into Nazi-controlled areas. It literally says it right here. It's a pistol manufactured by the United States military during World War II for use by resistance forces in occupied territories. You know why we had to do this? Because they took all our guns. Why? Ah! I'm triggered. This is like the first time on stream that you guys have probably ever seen me actually triggered, because that bothered me. I don't understand why they can say that. That's so dumb. So, I just got this idea that popped into my head because this magazine is basically hollow. So what if we took and we put a cross axle here in what's basically the center, and we let it stick out like that. And then we took and we put this piece here on the back. Is it big enough? It definitely isn't big enough. Dang it. Because if we put that piece on the back, we can make that piece translucent and have a translucent backing. But unfortunately, it was not big enough. So we will figure that out later. Yeah, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. That stays elsewhere. Well, let's go ahead and save this. All right. I think that's good. That's a definite start for, oh goodness, I keep forgetting it's right here. That's this portion here, which is really nice because I'm enjoying that. I'm happy with that. So now the idea is to copy this over to here. Just like so. Yeah, it's definitely a really neat idea, but it's unfortunately not big enough, as it's been pointed out multiple times now. All right, so this blue section down here, we're going to convert into being strictly a mounting point, as well as this blue section down here. So keen eye viewers might realize that these are not entirely symmetrical, but that is okay. So we'll put an 10 there. It's going to be close enough that it'll be difficult to tell, really. So that, like that, will set up the bottom. Crap, why do I always do that? So now it literally just comes across. We should be done with this, but for now, let's put this into templates. Damn, yeah, you're right. YouTube would not have allowed that. All right, so we grabbed the ring just in case we needed it, and then now we're going to take a 10. And go across. And then we can see that there's this little flare out right here, which is incredibly helpful because that's going to help us cover up our, I don't want to call it a mistake because it's not really a mistake. It's just going to help us cover everything up so that it looks more clean. Like so. My stomach is growling. All right, so then we should be able to take and do a 3 and a 3, and then a 4 will stick out to the side this way for reasons that will become obvious momentarily. Because now we can do this type of pattern coming out, and it will fit perfectly. At least so I think. Okay, so then the actual space between this, let's take a look at how much space we have on the gun. Should be, I think 6 studs between it will be fine, because that will give us plenty of clearance for the actual thing itself. So this could go right there, and then that's where the actual magazine and stuff will flip into when we're getting there. So this can go here, followed up with this goes there, grab the 3 goes there, 3 goes there, grab the 4 goes here, the 4 goes there. And this comes around, this comes around, this goes there, and then this should plug in right here. And that right there is the magazine. I'm pretty sure I did a 50 subscriber special. It was kind of a big deal to me at the time because I never expected that I would have that many people subscribe to me. Now it's kind of different because I've overtaken 2,000 subs, which is, you know, it's different nowadays. Oh, of course it doesn't fit. Let's just leave it straight then, I guess. I think it's important to celebrate all of your milestones as much as possible. I say that out of like, I want to show as many people on my channel that I appreciate them for subscribing as much as possible. Because I feel like the type of communication is important. That like you see them, thank you guys for subscribing, I appreciate it. Like that type of stuff I feel like is really important to a lot of people. That's just, it'll eventually even out. Like something that I noticed is that when I wasn't really uploading, my subscriber count stalled. And then on live streams, I wouldn't really get a whole bunch of people talking. But now that I have my upload schedule and I'm uploading every single Monday, I've noticed that my subscriber count has taken off again and that there have been more and more people in my actual live stream chats. So I think that's one of those things where you gotta gotta keep persevering through it, because even if it feels like it's not going anywhere, it'll eventually go somewhere. Okay, so that right there is looking good. I'm pretty happy with that. A song, or do I make a video on the Pt.1? I would do whatever makes you happiest. That is my answer to that question. So you can see that the difference here is kind of substantial in how like offset these are, how far offset these are. So I'm thinking that we'll put the thing down here on this, like where the magazine actually comes in will be like right here, coming up, because that's about 3 studs worth of room and about 3 studs worth of room over here. So I think that'll be okay. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. So now, the fun part, putting this on the actual model itself. So let's just see where this is for now. Oh crap. Transmission can be used in a whole bunch of different words. But yeah, you can use it for like if you're about to jump on a radio and okay, all right, okay, all right. Yeah, radio transmission is it's fine. Okay, all right. So for those of you who might have this problem in the future as well, this is a very easy fix. Hide most of that shit out the fucking way so that it has no choice but to go on what you need it to go on. Just like so. Yeah, it's going to do the same thing, by the way. So that goes there, like so. And then, so on the images that I was able to see to get this properly scaled, you can see that it's about as wide as the grip, which means we need to drop this quite a bit. So that's no big deal. We can drop this quite a bit. So we'll just take into this, followed by these. And then some of these. Like so. And maybe 2 more down. Maybe. So the whole reason I did it like this is because we can just do this. And increase how much further down it comes. Boom. Okay, so now we're at about the top of the grip and the bottom of the grip. So that right there is perfect. And it is relatively symmetrical. You can tell that like this side sticks out just a little bit further. But from like this type of angle here, you're really not going to be able to tell. So I am perfectly happy with that. That is just fine for what it is. Boom. So that right there is our, you can see there's a little bit of shelf there. Our MG-36 drum magazine. Looks pretty damn good. I'm pretty happy with all of it, really. So let's go ahead and save this, because that's kind of a big deal. Hopefully it doesn't crash. Boom. So we are now safe. This is a saved file. This is all done. So for the front, something that I wanted to kind of do was see if we could get a, what if we use a different piece? Well, no, we could technically use the other piece, the piece that I was thinking about. I want to close off this rim because I really don't like the way that the rim looks. So what if we put something like this on and then grabbed, it's kind of indented just a little bit, which I want to keep. So could we flip a 6? Yeah, just like that. So instead of using this, let's use the end stop, just like that. Boom. Boom. That right there is a hell of a sexy drum magazine. I am really, really proud of that. It looks like a proper drum magazine. So now, the good news is, because of how we did this, the inside is completely hollow, and we could actually load bullets into it, which is good, because we'll be able to hopefully load 50 into each side, is the goal. I don't know if we're going to be able to, but we'll try to get relatively close. The thing is now, I want to technically do, I want a circle to be on this back end to close this off, so that I can put like a clear section over it. But we've already tried this, and this has been too small. So I was just in there. Why did I reopen it? Would there be anything that we could possibly use to do that? I've only got like 14 more minutes, and then I gotta go vacuum and then head out to pick up the sister. So we got most of it done, but we haven't finished all of it, which isn't a bad thing necessarily. We could maybe use that. I don't want it to stick out too far though. Yeah, that would probably stick out way too far. What are the biggest curve pieces that we have? So the biggest curve piece that we have is this. And that's not going to work. It looks pretty damn good. I'm not going to lie. I'm really happy with it. It's definitely a drum magazine. No problem. I don't mind. Because I don't think in 10 minutes I can solve what I'm going to do back here. Because I really need like all of this space to put bullets in so that they're like proper length, or at least relatively close to being proper length. I just don't think that we have anything at our disposal that is that big of a circle. We have stairs like this? Interesting. Like I would love if it was just like this, but you know, bigger to fit in that circle, but of course we don't. So, yeah, this one's not even big enough either. What we might end up doing is what my different username did for his AA12. And I don't want to do it like that, but we might have to. So I think what we'll end up doing is I'll stop here. We'll color coordinate this appropriately. So we're going to save as work in progress. Oops. Underscore ROUGH. We're going to color coordinate this. To dark stone gray. Dark stone gray. And dark stone gray. What you see. And then file save as etched. So I'll be out and about, obviously, for the day. doing some stuff. So I won't be able to work on this, but I'll definitely be thinking about working on this and trying to figure out, what I'm going to do about this back end here, and trying to get it so that it's translucent so we can see in there. But I don't know if we'll be able to do that necessarily or not. We'll see as things go. So I'm going to go ahead and actually set this to render from this particular angle, because that's fine. You can't necessarily see that we don't have the back done or anything, so that's no big deal. Set it to render. It'll render in 4K, so there'll be quite a bit of, there'll be like about 2 hours worth of render time. So it'll be rendering while I'm out, and then when I get back, I'll post this to Discord underneath my different usernames creative text channel, and then I will also post it to my YouTube community page, so that'll be there as well. So this is what we have for now. It's about time for me to head on out and go ahead and vacuum and get ready to go. So thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to comment and subscribe for more videos similar to this one. I will see you guys later in another YouTube video another time. Got to figure out how to stop stream.